Hey, what's up everybody? Good to see y'all yet again for another stream. I hope everybody had a good week. Hold on, let me bring my mic a little bit closer to my face. There we go. There we go. Whew. I am so happy it is Friday yet again, you guys. I know I say that every single weekend, but I mean it every single time I say it. It's always a great day to be a Friday. And I hope everyone, like I said, had a good week. I'm not going to take up too much of your time with too much preamble this time around. We're almost at the end of our Celestine project. We're very close to completion here. All we have to do literally is decorate the bases, and then we're done. And then that's going to be it for this project. Oh, and of course, finally attach her wings back to her body, which have been separated from her this entire time. But we'll get there. We will indeed get there. But first, we're going to decorate the bases before we do anything else. Maybe do a couple of last-minute touch-ups as we spot them as well. And then that's going to be a project right there. Thank you all so much for your continued support of my channel. If you are new here and you haven't already, don't forget to hit subscribe and also hit the notification bell too. That way you know exactly when I go live, which is every Friday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to follow me on all my social medias, then my social media links can be found in the description below. And don't forget to leave a like on the stream as well, because that, of course, goes a long way in helping me out with this channel, y'all. Thank you so much. So, let me switch over to the hobby cam. There we go. Might turn down the brightness on my booth just a little bit, just so it's a bit easier to see things that are going on. There we go. Maybe zoom out a little bit too. That's zoomed in pretty far. Let's see. That right there should be just about perfect. Perfect. All right. Gonna take a sip of water too. All right, let's get to it. And here she is, y'all. Celestine, the living saint, back again, once again. Man, this model looks so good. I am so friggin' happy about this, you guys. Oh, man. She looks fantastic. So the first thing that I want to do, actually, before we go anywhere else, is I want to take some of our good old-fashioned dark Prussian blue from Vallejo, which is my go-to gray color of choice. I'm going to find our trusty monster brush from the Army Painter. Here we go. I'm gonna shake up this paint a little bit, and we're gonna actually apply this first. So, hey Godzilla, what's good, fam? How you doing? Good to see you again. Hope you had a good week. How was your week, fam? Pretty good. That's good. That's good. Happy Friday, fam. Happy Friday. You done any? Did you work on any projects this week? Out of curiosity, do you have any time to do so? I'm almost finished the Leviathan Marines. Nice. Very nice. And at a perfect time, too, since now we have the Marine Codex out now. Which is excellent. Good stuff, fam. Good stuff. Let's see. So what I'm doing right now is I'm first taking our gray and I'm applying it around the edges, basically. Here, kind of in an uneven fashion. I think I've explained before what exactly I want the concept of this, what the concept of this space is going to be. Basically, I'm just trying to make it look as though Celestine and her Gemini Superior are kind of healing the ground around them. If you've seen my other models, which of course you have, Godzilla specifically, then you know that like all my sisters are kind of marching through an ashen wasteland of their own creation. And so I want that terrain to sort of be transforming around Celestine. Yeah. You're picking up what I'm throwing down. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just hit up this base. Gonna hit up this base. There we go. With some gray paint. We're gonna do the same. We're gonna do the same for the other two, but we're gonna make it a little less of a strong effect for them. Let's see here. There's gonna be more ashen waste surrounding them. There we go. Perfect. Kind of leave that right there. Okay. That's 2, and then finally number 3 right here. Also, war paint display started following me. Hey, turn up, that's awesome. Yeah. Good stuff. A very worthy follow indeed. You are very worthy of such an awesome follow, my guy. Good stuff. Good stuff. Here's to your work gaining more traction, more attention, more praise, all of which it deserves so much of. Yes, of course. No problem. No problem. Let's see here. Let's see. Of course, the coverage here doesn't have to be too perfect. There we go. Perfect. Oh, I should get this. There we go. Okay. So that's step 1 taken care of. Oop, there we go. Okay. Now, for my next trick, I need to find a paintbrush worthy of sacrifice yet again. I think I've got one right here. I don't really use this size 2 brush from Blick Essentials very much, so this will be the perfect candidate, I think, for a little bit of terrain brushing. So we're gonna go back to our tried and true astrogranite debris, and we're gonna apply this on top, right on the, basically on all the gray areas. The reason why I'm using a regular paintbrush instead of my terrain tool is because back when I actually found this back when I first started like painting, using a paintbrush with this stuff creates a much more rugged effect than using a terrain tool with it, or any sort of like scalpel or scoop or whatever, and that's kind of what I want. So we're going to use that instead. Plus it'll also dry faster too if we do it that way. And whichever brush we choose for this endeavor will in fact be ruined by this, but that's okay because we are doing that intentionally, so it is not really a loss. Yeah, a very rugged look is what I'm going for with this, so we're going to use our paintbrush for this. By the way, thank y'all so much for, let me point at that, 152 subscribers. We passed the 150 sub mark today, actually, so thank y'all so much for that. What minis are you planning on getting soon? I am planning on getting me a copy of the Death Guard Combat Patrol, because that's basically when we move into the Death Guard army phase. That's gonna be thanks for the dubs. The Death Guard Combat Patrol is gonna be the first thing that we paint when we move into making our Death Guard army. So we're gonna be picking that up here pretty soon. And then we're gonna go from there. That's gonna be the start of Death Guard. Other than that, I think another mini that I kind of want in the near future is a Biovore. Probably gonna end up building it as a Pyrovore, but that's definitely something I want. Maybe 2 of those. Maybe like 2 of those for my Tyranids army. Let me make sure I shake this up. There we go. Ah, look at all that goopy goodness. We love to see it. Alright, let's take this. Now let's apply it all over like so. Excellent. I'm planning on getting a knight for your Death Guard. Ooh, very nice. Which variant of Chaos Knight are you eyeing for that, out of curiosity? Preferably a Lancer. Good choice, good choice. The Lancers are a very cool model. Alright. We're just gonna mess with this a little bit. Get some of that texture eked out of there by just distressing the goop here a little bit so that it dries on in a more interesting way. Here we go. Nice. It's a nice little 3D effect going right there. All right. Cool. The next thing I want to do is I want to... How do I want to do this actually? Let's see. I do think the next thing I want to do is I think... actually, you know what? We'll just keep going. We'll just keep going with this particular step of it. I did just have one thought about a different order in which I could be doing things right now, but that's okay though. I think we're going to be just fine doing things this way too. I'm kind of improvising the exact components I want for this base on the fly. I do have a general idea of what I want, but how to best achieve it is something I'm kind of just making up as I go along. So there we go. Need more blood. Ah, yes. Our master of the blood. Let's see. Where's my stippling brush? I need this. And I also need... I'm just thinking ahead real quick. I need a couple of my green and brown speed paints, which I have these right here. And I also wanted Rhinox hide, which I also put right here. Yeah, here we go. Perfect. These are going to be useful in like just a little bit. Okay. Okay, now what? The next thing I want to do is I want to... Actually, let's test out my idea. Let's take a minute to actually test out my idea to make sure this is going to work. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take some orc skin, Actually, do I want to take orc skin first? Yes, we do want to do orc skin first since it's lighter. We are going to use orc skin first. Here we go. I'm going to take some orc skin. Let me apply this to my wet palette real fast. We're going to take our stippling brush here. We're going to load this up with some orc skin. And I'm going to do some good old-fashioned stippling here. I've never used speed paints in a stippling fashion before, so I don't know how well this is going to work, but we'll see what happens. And we're going to use this to emulate a sort of grass-like texture on the ground right here. We'll throw in some other colors and whatnot too, just to make it a little bit more naturalistic looking. We're just going to take our sweet time layering all those on, just to make it as excellent looking as we possibly can. Nice. Perfect. Okay. Just trying to get that in there as best as I can. There we go. Alright, that's one color down. And I'm going to take a darker green next and layer that on as well. That is going to be our AP Speed Paint Absolution Green next. Let me close up this astral granite debris before I accidentally knock something over. Ew. Would hate that. Would absolutely hate to do that. Put this back up here too. Okay. Take some Absolution Green next. Make sure this brush is back to being dry. Always best to stipple with a dry brush as opposed to a moist one. Let's see. Making sure that this is dry. That is dry enough. Okay. Now let's take some of this. Alrighty. Nice. Nice, okay. This is working well. This is working very well, I think. I actually don't think we'll use Rhinoxide. I think we'll use like another speed paint on top of these two that we've already used. I think that would be good. That'd probably be better actually, just so that all the consistencies of our paints match. That just feels like it would work better for our purposes. I don't want to have to deal with two different consistencies of things anyway. Plus the Rhinoxide might be a little too aggressive even when stippling. It might be too aggressively, I might cover things up a little too aggressively. I mean, I might not actually use... I was planning on using dark wood, but if I have a lighter brown, actually that might be preferable. Of course, I do have one. I just gotta find it. Where is my... maybe actually you might use dusk red here. No, that's a little too red. Let's see. Favorite Primarch? Oh, Vulcan, hands down. Vulcan Histon is my favorite Primarch. Hands down. Hands down. What about you? Godzilla note. Corvus has been really growing on me lately. Oh, interesting. I don't see too many people name Corvus as a favorite Primarch of theirs. That's a good choice. I like that. I like that. That's a very interesting choice. Good old Corvus, Primarch of the Raven Guard. Good stuff. Yeah, that reminds me of that, that Christmas Battle Force that came out last year for the Raven Guard. Right, it was a Raven. There was like two for the Space Marines. It was like a Raven Guard one, and then there was an Imperial Fist one last year, right? If I remember correctly. I decided on using Burnished Red, by the way, for our brown layer here. And him becoming a Warp Raven so raw, facts. Him becoming a Warp Raven is so raw. Let's see. Perfect. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. So now we're just adding a little bit of burnished red into the mix just to make a little bit of like a soil patchy type beat. Also, you'll notice too that I'm adding these speed paints on in an order of how light they are. So the lightest paint went on first, which was the orc skin, and now we're applying the darkest paint, which is the burnished red. And the reason why I do this is because this is actually a technique recommended to me by someone I know who is a very big fan of these paints. And just because, you know, the undercoat is so vital with these, it's generally better to just do to apply what's lighter first. That way it has like the right, or like the intended effect that you were basically going for in terms of like its color. Otherwise you might get something that's a little more muted than what you were actually going for. Which is, of course, not helpful to anyone, unless that's what you want. Unless that's what you want. There we go. Okay, next thing we want to do is we want to actually do the same thing. We want to do the same thing we did just now, but elsewhere on the model. Real quick though, one thing I do want to do is I want to take... Sorry, not elsewhere on the other models is what I meant to say, but I want to take some burnished red real fast. I want to go in here. I want to just color this rock. What I'm going to interpret as a dirt patch. Right around here. Just to get that ready for base decoration later on. Just so it doesn't look like an unnatural white rock or anything like that. Just gonna give that a little bit of color. That's gonna be perfect. Most of this will likely be invisible once we start actually putting on the decorations, but that's okay. As long as it's there to sort of reinforce what we're gonna put on top of it, kind of add a layer of realism to it, I am satisfied. Okay, good. Our texture paint is drying at a decent rate. At first I wasn't sure if this would actually end up drying very quickly at all. I would not want to spend most of this stream waiting on this stuff to dry. That would be a terrible way of spending our time together. But it looks like we're going pretty alright so far, so I'm not complaining. I'll be back. I got homework to do. All right, fam. Good luck with the homework. I hope that you survive the horrors of the warp. I mean, homework. Peace out, bro. I'll be here. Because this is going to take a while. This is probably the most intricate base decorating I've ever done, frankly. But that also is something that excites me about this. I'm very excited that this is going to be... that this is what we're up to tonight. I've been looking forward to this step of this particular painting process literally ever since we first started. Because I've been just so excited about this basing concept. In retrospect, I probably should have done this step first before applying the texture paint. That's kind of what I was thinking about before. But you know what, though? That's okay. We live and we learn. You know, while I did like the stippling, I don't think stippling is actually strictly necessary to get the effect we're going for here. So you know what? I will just simply take my smaller brush that can actually reach better into here, and we will just simply work with that. We will just work with that. Maybe we'll water this down a little bit too. There we go. Like I said, most of this is going to be hidden anyway, so like the exact quality doesn't quite matter, but I do want to make sure the color is like pretty well balanced. I don't want everything looking too wild, you know. But this actually looks pretty good. Alright, that's layered on rather successfully. Let's actually pull our stippling brush back out. And let us do the same for Celestine herself. Now, of course, this is going to look different since her base ended up getting sprayed scrag brown to start, as opposed to white like the Gemini Superior ended up. So the effect here is going to end up looking slightly different. It's going to end up looking slightly different. All right, I'm not going to be able to get all up in there with this brush, so we're just going to switch back to using our triangle handle. No worries. There we go. Just gonna make sure we spread out all that we have here. And again, the coverage here doesn't necessarily have to be like pristine. It doesn't have to be pristine, but it has to be pretty thorough. Okay. Here we are. Uh-oh. Okay, so that's layer 1 for each of those two out of the way. I want to actually go back to this Gemini here. I do not want to update. Thank you, computer. I'm going to actually, now that we've gotten the color down here, let me go ahead and actually apply the astrogranite debris that's going to go here now, while I still am working on other things. That way it'll have the time it needs to dry. There we go. Because the reason why I thought to like do this part first was because I want it to have like a pretty long drying time, because of an effect I want to try to paint on top of this. And so in order to be able to paint on top of it, I of course need it to be dry. So that was kind of what my original logic was. Try to stress this a little bit more. Alright, that should work for now. If that's not super intense, that's okay. Alright. Cool. Bet. Where was I? Oh yes, I was going to layer on Absolution Green next onto the second Gemini and onto Celestine's base. Yeah, Celestine's base is drying very nicely with the astrogranite debris. This is very good. This is very good. There we go. Make it look like there's moss on this side of the rock. Why not? Why not, right? We can do whatever we want to. This is our model, after all. add some burnished red on this. And then on this side too, we're gonna add some green to the same matching side of the second rock as we did the first one too. Since you know moss grows on the same side of every rock, the same side of every rock, every tree always grows on the north side. A little survivalist tip there for you, in case you didn't know that. Little fun factoid for you, in case you did not know that. You know what I might do too to speed up the drying process? I do still have my airbrush right here. I might just blast some air out of that and onto the models just to expedite the drying time of the texture paint. I don't see why that would hurt. As long as I'm careful to make sure there's nothing, as long as there's no like errant acrylic ink or other moisture from last time in there, that should actually be alright to do. That should actually be pretty alright to do. Yeah, that should be pretty alright to do. Where's Doombull Brow? We might use this later. Let me see. Okay, so next thing to do. The next thing to do is get that side of the rock like I said I would. First of all, we'll make just this one just Absolution Green. Just for the sake of a little variety, having a little variety. Okay, perfect. Yo, Ultralord, what's good, bro? How you doing? Good to see you, bud. We are just doing some base decorating, for it is that time yet again. Closing in on the end of this project finally after all this time. After 2 months. We've been painting Celestine here for 2 months. I did the math the other day. 2 months and 40 hours later. I'm pretty good. That's good to hear, man. That's good to hear. What you been up to this week? Currently building a Hellbrute for my 1000 Suns. Ooh, very nice, very nice. You know, that's actually another model. You just reminded me. Godzilla and I were talking about this earlier because he had asked what models I was planning on getting for Death Guard, or just in the future. And you know what? A Death Guard Hellbrute is something I definitely want to get, or like a Hellbrute for my Death Guard, because they're allegedly pretty great for Death Guard because they can like throw a contagion AoE out, throw a contagion aura out, and affect enemies from afar. So I'm very curious about that as a soon-to-be Death Guard player. I've heard that some of the more competitive lists take like 2 Hellbrutes for that reason. And honestly, that might be the only like non-pure Death Guard unit I get for my Death Guard army. I would like my Death Guard army to be mostly pure Death Guard just for flavor, but I think I will dip into getting a Hellbrute for mine, and you know, perhaps a Chaos Rhino too if the spirit moves me, since there's no other transport option for the Death Guard. Interesting. Hellbrutes seem to be pretty good for all Chaos Marines because they give buffs now. Yeah. That too. Which is nice. I feel like Hellbrutes didn't really get their moment in the sun last edition, so it's nice to see them get that now. In the past, Blight Haulers and Bloat Drones were always better for Death Guard. Right. I'm very excited about getting my hands on some Fetid Bloat Drones. Those are another one of like the iconic units of the Death Guard that like drew me to them initially. I think they're so cool. I want to get a whole bunch of those for my army for sure. Alright, I think we are actually going to cheat a little bit here. Maybe not cheat, we are going to hack a little bit here. Gonna do just the slightest bit of hoof working here. Yeah, as we used to say, right? We'll get the airbrush out. We're going to, I'm gonna use my airbrush to help dry this texture paint a little faster. Before, exactly. Where's my compressor? Alright, let me plug in this compressor real quick. There we go. Power cable. Where is the other end of that? There you go. Oh, you were hooked on that. I see. Just sort of getting myself untangled here. There we go. Yee doggies. All right. Cool. Whew. Sorry if I sound a little sniffly. On my way home today, I realized I was starting to feel like I was having like an allergy attack. I think my apartment has just gotten kind of dusty since now the heat and everything is on. I can smell the burnt dust floating around the place, even though I definitely dusted this place up and down like a week ago. So it shouldn't be this bad, but then again, it's New York. Now, as another precaution, I'm lowering the PSI on my airbrush below our usual 30 PSI, just so that it's a bit more gentle, just so we don't blast like texture paint goop everywhere. And we're just gonna hit this very gently with some air just to accelerate the drying here. The reason why it's so important that this dries in a decent amount of time is because I want to try something. I want to do a special effect on top of this texture paint specifically. So I actually need this to be fully dry before I attempt that. This is another reason why I fucking love having an airbrush, is that I can do shit like this. So whenever I need something to like dry really quickly, just gently blast it with some air. And that'll be that. Ultralord, when we go shopping in later this month, do not let me forget that I need to get some more French Mirage blue paint. Actually, I should make a list. I should make a list of colors that I need. Because like while I will buy, yeah, I usually have to wait a day before touching texture paint again. Yeah, exactly. And I thought to myself, like, should I just apply the texture paint ahead of stream? And I thought to myself, like, yeah, that'd be a good idea, but I was like, oh, but I want to show the whole process on stream. Also, I wasn't exactly sure, like, what order I'd be doing everything in this process in. So I decided to, like, leave it. Because I thought I was going to be doing some, like, dipping into, like, my, like, little terrain bits. But, and I will be using those. I'm not going to be dipping them in or anything like that, I don't think. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to do that, actually. Because for the parts we want to use, we actually don't really need to do that, so. Okay. So that looks pretty dry. It is dry to the touch, so that's good. Let me just dry off this one too. Yeah, I'm gonna make a list. Because, like, while I will buy paints up here in a pinch, I actually much prefer to shop for paints back home in Virginia, just because there's a wider variety to choose from, and the prices are usually better. So there's that too, because I have more options than, like, just Citadel, or then primarily Citadel to choose from, I should say. Although the Hexen Company at Union Square just got in a Vallejo half rack. A Vallejo game color half rack, and I think they also have some express colors sitting on there too, so that's nice. And they also sell some Army Painter box sets too. This is gonna be another insane hobby purchase, but when Army Painter eventually announces the complete set for their Fnatic War paints, I want all of them. I want all of them. I want those paints so badly. I just watched their newest video about them, about their like flexible triad system, and I'm like, damn, that shit's so cool. I really am looking forward to getting my hands on those paints. Hey, Army Painter, if you're watching this, you know, you want someone to review those for you. I'm just saying, I only have 152 subscribers, but also that's 152 more than I had when I first started out this channel. I can sell some paints for you, Army Painter. I could. Just saying. Sponsor me. Anyway. Anyway, that's enough of that. Okay. Cool. All of our texture paints should be nice and dry now. Yeah, it definitely feels like there's something that just went up my nose. I haven't watched the video on them, but I saw an Insta post on it. Nice. Yeah, definitely check out the video once you get the time, Ultra Lord. Definitely check out the video, and I think I sent it to you, so I definitely want to hear your thoughts on that. I want to hear your thoughts as a much more veteran painter than myself. I'm very curious to know what your read on them is, because I'm excited for them. It looks cool, but to me, it just looks like they're going to have a. Looks like they're gonna have a lot of colors. Fair. Very fair. Where am I going next? I need, deep sky blue. And I need my detail brush. Yes. Alright, going into deep sky blue next. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna outline the sort of path that's being traced by, like, the inner rim over, like, the texture paint is. So, like, on Celestine, like, around here to kind of make it look like an energy wave that's kind of like passing over everything, you know? I think that'd look kind of cool. Like, the triads is just a fancy way to say they'll have a lot of colors is what I meant. Yeah, I got you, yeah. Kind of like eliminate the need to mix any of the colors you might need in order to, like, do a layering method type of paint job, yeah. I totally get what you mean. It's like Reaper and their triad system, basically. Theirs just have more colors. Still cool nonetheless. But yeah, no, I'm picking up what you're throwing down, Ultra Lord. but they're apparently really good. Yeah. Yeah, they are pretty good. Yeah, I've never seen a store sell Reaper paints. Yeah, I had never seen a store sell Reaper paints until I went to the Complete Strategist here in the city for the first time. They have, in addition to Citadel, they have some Army Painter box sets. They have Army Painter and Citadel rattle cans, and they also have, and then they also have like a rack of Reaper Series paints as well. Reaper Master Series paints too. But yeah, they're pretty good. I have a few actually up here. I have their black and their white just because a long time ago, like back when I first started painting, I had run out of my original bottles of Vallejo Black and Vallejo White, and at the time I didn't know how to like look for them online to shop for them because like they weren't sold individually on Amazon. This is before I found Lionheart Hobby online, who sell, you know, they sell online. They have a bunch of Vallejo monocolor paints too. So I had bought those from the Complete Strategist, and they're really good. Like, if I had to say that there's like one paint brand where like you definitely are like super close to not having to thin them at all, really, it's those. Those are usually pretty, like even the black, even the black and the white are like pretty much ready to use straight out of the bottle, which to me is awesome. But yeah, I love them. I love them. I just kind of wish they had more shades. That's my one complaint about them. Sorry, I got distracted while trying to shape this brush in the way that we need it to be shaped. All right, we're not going to worry about thinning this at all. There we go. Alright, I think this is going to work out nicely. Might require a couple of coats, if I'm being for real, but this is going to work out well. This point is, again, I've had the same complaint about this brush this entire time, and I don't know why I thought this time it would be like any different, but this brush's point is it's just too small. It doesn't hold like any paint at all. Honestly, I might just use my triangle handle because it works. We know it works. Fuck it. Let's just keep using the triangle handle, and I'll just... Also, have you noticed GW washes being too glossy? I've done everything I can to get my none oil to be more flat, but it hasn't helped. Yes, I have. Yes, indeed I have. Let's see, what have I done? What have I done to get rid of the shine? You know, applying some acrylic matte medium on top of the areas is something that I've done to reduce the shine. I don't know if you've tried that. Have you tried that? That's actually a big reason why I've started using like my washes, my GW washes, in like a very like small form controlled sort of way, as opposed to like doing like huge swaths of washing like I perhaps used to do. Not perhaps, like I used to do is what I should say. Because I was just really tired of that glossy effect. If you look at like my first wave of battlesisters that I ever painted, they all kind of suffered from that, low-key. It helps some, but it doesn't entirely fix it. Comes out like a semi-gloss or satin finish. Yeah. That's about the best I could have ever achieved too, frankly. It was about like a satin finish, just about, not quite entirely matte. Oh, this looks fantastic. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Might go in and highlight that with some white too. We shall see, we shall see. But let me do the next base here. Nice. Okay. So that's that one. Now let me do this one. I once saw a suggestion, you know, going back to that Ultralord, I once saw a suggestion on Reddit that said to, like, combine your wash with some acrylic matte medium. But I never tried that myself. I'm not sure how I feel about that idea, because I feel like then you lose the wash-like consistency. I guess you'd have to then, like, water it down accordingly. But then you're just gonna get something kind of really, really runny and thin at that point, and I don't know if that's even worth like using at that point, because that's gonna run out of control low-key, even like more out of control than like washes already do. Typically, you know, I feel like that wouldn't bode well. I was a little bit skeptical of that idea. But perhaps further testing might be required to truly discount it, you know? I haven't tried it, but that might work, yeah. Yeah, it might. Maybe I'll experiment with that in my off time. Okay, I see what we need to do in order to make this sell this effect a little bit better. We need to make the line actually a bit bolder. Just a bit bolder. Not much bolder. No Colorado. The boulder is gonna be... Speaking of the boulder, hold on. Speaking of the boulder in Avatar: The Last Airbender, did you see the new trailer for the Netflix live-action adaptation? Big reason I haven't is because I don't like mixing paints from different brands, and I only have Vallejo brush on matte medium. Ah, gotcha, okay. Makes sense. No, I feel you. I also don't like mixing brands most of the time. The one exception is when I'm combining pale sand from Vallejo with any of my speed paints for highlights. Like the quick and dirty highlights that I like to do. Yeah, I think all we needed to do is just make these. It wasn't already out for it. It just dropped yesterday, because now that you know, now that the SAG strike is over, now that the SAG after strike is over, all the studios, all the companies are back to promoting their stuff in like full force now. So, you know, they're trying to ride that wave. And like Netflix itself had their like showcase, I forget what it's called, but it's like their showcase where they show like what's coming to Netflix. Yeah. So yeah, it just dropped yesterday. Honestly, it looks pretty good, but like I'm still so scarred from the memory of M. Night Shyamalan's adaptation that I'm still trying my best to remain pretty healthily skeptical of the whole thing, if I'm being for real. The actors all looked pretty great, especially like everyone from the Fire Nation honestly like looked lit as hell, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm pretty excited about that. The One Piece one is supposed to be pretty good. It is supposed to be pretty good. I haven't seen it myself. I have not seen it myself because I've yet to try to get back on the whole Netflix grind since I had lost access because they cracked down on password sharing and I was using my family's account. But yeah. No, yeah, it does look pretty good. And hopefully they put the same energy. I mean, because like also what's got me worried is that like the production of allegedly the production of the live action Avatar reboot, or not reboot, remake was supposedly very troubled. Like so much so that the original creators who were creative consultants, like Mike and Brian, were creative consultants on the show, and then they left like a year or two ago. So I'm like, oh, what does that mean? Well, hopefully they still manage to stick the landing. I don't know. We'll see. We shall, in fact, see. Okay, my white is dry, so let me get some more. Interesting. Usually that bodes port. Yes, it does. Yes, it usually does. There was also like some opening monologue in the trailer too about like how about the passage of time and like how, or like the flow of time and how it's basically how it's like weird. And I'm like, are y'all trying to say that you're gonna make some changes to this fucking timeline? Because here's the thing. Avatar: The Last Airbender, part of the reason why that show has been so well loved over the last 18 years is that it is such a well structured story. Very well paced, very well structured. Nothing in regard to either of those two things really needs to be fixed. And I'm worried that they're going to do something to affect that, and it's gonna be really bad. So I am hoping for the best, but I am also preparing for the worst. I am also very much preparing for the worst. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, you know. Yeah, they're probably going to time skip past things in the show. Yeah, they probably are, because also we have to acknowledge too is that the model for like the usual model for like streaming and like how shows are released on streaming, like it's very different from the way shows were released back in 2005. That much, you know, kind of goes without saying at this point. And so I hope that they still manage to tell like a pretty good story without ruining the pacing too much, you know. I'm so tired of Netflix giving these shows only like so little space to like tell their stories. Like I miss, like this is gonna make me sound like such a boomer, but like I miss 20 to 30 episode long seasons that are like 30 to 45 minutes a piece. One of my previous favorite shows on Netflix, and I guess still is kinda, is Umbrella Academy. And the first two seasons of Umbrella Academy, great. Season 2 of Umbrella Academy is specifically probably some of the best television I've ever watched. But then season 3 came out and that shit was so ass. Like that shit was genuinely hot garbage. And part of the reason why it was because they only had fucking 10 episodes to tell probably the most loaded storyline of the show so far. And I'm like, what the hell? And I think that season could have easily been, first of all, I think with the stories they wanted to tell, it should have been probably 2 separate seasons. Or if it wasn't going to be 2 separate seasons, right, then they should have, I wish they had just made it, given them more episodes. 10 episodes was not enough. Short seasons make characters hard to like since you don't get to, you don't get time to really learn about them. Sorry, I hate this stupid emoji button that sits in the corner of the chat window, because whenever like a message extends to that point, I can't ever read it. But yeah, I need to figure out if there's a way to get rid of that. But anyway, yeah, you don't really get time to really know about the characters, and that was exactly the main problem with Umbrella Academy season 3. I don't know how familiar you are with like the premise of that show, but basically it's about like this family of 7 siblings that all have like superpowers and shit, right? Lots of shit happens in that show, but basically at the end of the 2nd season, beginning of the 3rd, they introduce a brand new family, a sort of parallel world version of our main cast called the Sparrows, right? Okay, and this is actually gonna be kind of like a minorish, majorish spoiler for Umbrella Academy season 3. I will give you a thumbs up like this if you want to mute for now. I will give you a thumbs up when I'm done talking about this. If you want to turn your volume down while I discuss this. You have 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the fucking problem was they introduced this whole brand new ass family, right? And by like episode, I think it was like either by episode 3 or 4, they are all dead. They are all dead. They are all dead, and it didn't even fucking matter, because once they, cause like, you know, later on, it's just like, it was like they were never even there to begin with. Like, their presence in the show actually had like so little consequence on the events. And it's just like, why the fuck did you even bother introducing them in the first place? Like, seriously, I was so disappointed, because also too, like, the Sparrows were kind of like one of the most hyped up aspects of season 3. But also, this would have been, when I think about it, this also would have been like, if I'm to have like, you know, try to look at things through a more empathetic lens. I'm pretty sure this is the season that would have shot either just before or during like the height of COVID. So maybe like, you know, shooting schedules and availability got fucked for everybody. But like, I don't know. It was just lots of lazy writing, which was just baffling, coming from the same team that, you know, gave us season 2, right? I don't know, I was very disappointed. Many Umbrella Academy fans were very disappointed in that season. And now the next one is going to be the last one. And it's just really sad that, like, you know, the show is ending, and it seems like the setup we've got for that ending is pretty ass. It's pretty ass, not gonna lie. Sounds like the Golden Company. Yes, that is such a perfect parallel right there. The Golden Company from Game of Thrones. Yes. Exactly, my guy. You are spot on with that parallel. Spot on with that. Almost done with this pulse effect here. Very nice. I'm gonna go back into this one a little bit more too. Now that I have a better idea of what I'm actually doing here. Perfection. Alright, and that should be good enough there. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, so I think the next thing I should probably apply... Let me think. Because I'm using super glue for some of it. Elmer's for the other some of it. Maybe we should probably put on the... Probably should put on the Elmer's glue stuff first. Have I heard of the video? Ha! Yeah, I've heard of Party Animals. I want to get on that. I want to get on that with y'all. We should play that. We should definitely play. Have y'all been playing it? Oh, I guess not, because you said Jay Walker only wanted to, it was only mentioned so far that he wants to get it. I see, I see, I see. Yeah, shit, I'd be down. If y'all are planning on getting that, I would be down to get it too, and play with y'all. It seems like it's pretty fun. I've seen RDC play it. We don't have it. Yeah, I got you. Sorry, I picked up on that. Bet, yeah, there we go, that's what I'm talking about. Alright, got some summer undergrowth from Army Painter right here. We're gonna apply this to the model next. Small problem though. It appears my Elmer's glue might be a little clogged. That's okay though, because it's not like we need the nozzle to apply the glue anyway. So I can just dip my brush in there since I'm using that to spread it anyway. There we go. Ooh, that might be too much. That is too much. This brush will also now be considered sacrificial as well, because there's definitely no going back for this brush after we... Actually, I probably do need more than I thought. Here we go. Apply that all over her. Well, not all over her, but we're gonna apply that all over here. Don't want to get any PVA on my gorgeous, gorgeous Celestine. Please no. That would be terrible. We gotta be somewhat surgical about this. Just spread that around a little bit. Spread the love. Nice. Now I need my tweezers. I'm gonna just start grabbing some of our summer undergrowth here. Ooh, this is so nice. I haven't used this yet on anything, so I'm like excited to finally be giving this a shot here. Yeah. Yeah, okay. That fucks with this so far. Question is how to get it to stick effectively enough is the real question. You know, this might end up being low-key a this might end up low-key being a super glue job, honestly. I thought this was gonna be a PVA glue job at first, but now I'm not so sure though. At the very least, what we can do actually is, hold on, I'm gonna reapply some PVA glue actually real fast. And then we are going to... actually, no, let's keep going with the summer undergrowth plan actually, for now. Because the thing is, I don't want it to just look like I'm just like sort of sticking shit on here. Even though that is kind of basically what I'm doing. Because that is just the basis of doing this type of shit. But I think I know the solution to making it look a little bit more realistic. I think what I need to do, the only thing with super glue is you may need to paint over it since it can dry white. Yeah, you're right. And I think for that reason, Ultralord, I think I'm gonna actually avoid the super glue as much as possible. I think I'm just gonna avoid the super glue. We are going to avoid the super glue. Instead, we will use as many layers of PVA as is necessary to achieve what we are going for here. Okay. Because like the idea I had for like what the planet, you know, they're on hypothetically here in this like in the model, right? Like my idea for it was that like before they like started raising shit to the ground, it was like a sort of like very floral, very like jungly planet, you know? So that's kind of where like the inspo, or like where the wait, what the hell? How do I pop these off? Oh man, I got my flowers here. Finally, that I've been waiting to use for like ages. Oh, I see. Whoever used these had these originally before me. So I picked this up at like a junk giveaway. I see what they did. They glued these onto here. I see. I thought this was just like the pack that these came in, but no, that's not what we have here at all. That is not what we have here in the slightest, actually. But that's okay though. I have an easy. Now that I'm aware of that, we will have a much easier time dealing with that. This component might actually need to be super glued. This might actually need, yeah, because this is, what is this? Whatever substance this is on the bottom, this is not gonna stick. Alright, time to bust out the super glue. I'm gonna make that shit stick. There we go. Normally I have my gloves on when I'm using my super glue because I don't want to get any on my fingers, of course, but as long as we are using our tweezers, we should be alright. These are also a lot larger than I thought they were going to be too. Alright. That's fine though. Easy? What do you mean by easy, Ultralord? Oh. Usually the glue you stick those to the packaging is really easy to peel off. Yeah. Oh. I see. I got you. Yeah. Usually, but it looks like these might just be old. That might be what's going on. Is that these might just be old. That's probably the reason why they weren't as easy to peel off. The glue might just be super dry. I don't know. I thought you would think it would degrade as time went on and become easier to peel off, but maybe you'd be wrong. Maybe that would just make you wrong in that instance. I don't know. Who's to say? Alright, I think another flower's gotta go here at the front. Where is my super glue? Actually, let me get the flower prepared first. That way I can get the super glue, or that way I can apply the flower in time before the super glue starts to really activate. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I can. Yeah, Ultralord, I see what I see what you're saying. I do think these are. Yeah. I think what you said was true. These do feel like they were once upon a time easy to peel off, but now it feels like they kind of like dried on or whatever. There we go. Just sort of, I don't know what the hell this is, but let's get this off of here. Oh wow, this looks great so far. Though I really like the way this is turning out so far. I'm gonna add a. It could be the person made their own. It could be that. It could be that. These did come from a scene design shop. Funnily enough, they had a lot of like miniature painting / Citadel products lying around in their shop. I guess it makes sense because, you know, they're like building scale models of these sets for their shows and whatnot. So of course they'd, you know, use stuff meant for miniatures. That does make sense to me. That does make sense to me. That do be making some, at least some modicum of sense to me, though. Okay. Add a splash of color. Add a splash of color by throwing in this bunch right here. Gonna kind of cram that in there. Yeah, yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah, let's add some more of the light green stuff in there. I love Army Painter's basing materials. My goodness, this is so fun. Okay, add another green bit right here. Army Painter does make great basing stuff. Yeah, I agree. I fully agree with such sentiments. There we go. It's very fun to just play around with. Uh-oh. There we go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this stuff is great. I think this needs more glue. Eh. Yeah, I like having added in the yellow stuff. It adds a nice splash of color to balance everything out. Wonder if I might try adding... no, actually, that looks pretty good. Yeah. I love how easy it is to get their stuff too. Many hobby companies have supply chain or production. Yeah, that's one thing I will say about Army Painter, where they are like kind of untouchable, is in their fucking ability to supply their affiliates. Oh my gosh, I feel like I never have to worry about anything Army Painter related being in stock ever, which is great, honestly. Like, that's one of my favorite things about Army Painter, is that their stuff is really easy to find. Which of course just goes a long way making the hobby more accessible in general. I think another pink flower bundle goes here. Yes, I like the pink. I like the pink. There we go. I'm gonna plop that like right in the middle of our bramble here. There we go. And then that should stick on just... Ah! How many times have we accidentally bonked poor Celestine here with like random bottles of shit? Also, I found these metallics and pearlescent paints called Turbo Dork. Oh my god, yeah! I've seen Turbo Dork on TikTok. I've seen their paints in action on TikTok. They look sick. I kind of want to get some. I kind of really want to get some actually, low key. Okay. Yeah. I've seen a couple of my mutuals on TikTok use Turbo Dork. One of the stores we can go to later this month has them. Bet. Big bet. I'm very excited. Okay, hold on. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna actually apply some of this leftover glue here just to help with adhesion. And then we're gonna jam this in here. Boom. 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 Hold on. We need more glue. Always more glue. Uh-oh. On the bright side, any PVA glue we get where we didn't necessarily intend for there to be any will dry on clear because it's PVA glue. That's one of the main advantages to using this stuff as opposed to super glue, is it's its transparent drying capabilities. I'm gonna watch my finger there because there is some super glue presence somewhere in this area where I'm working. Super glue that I would rather not have touch me fingies. Hey, Nikki, what's good? Good to see you, fam. How you been? We are just working on basing Celestine here. And her Gemini Superior too. How's your week been? Get any more likes on Instagram from the one, the only Freddie Prinze Jr.? Thank you, thank you. Honestly, I think these are gonna end up being the best bases I've ever done. And that's no exaggeration. It's good, busy, good stuff. Sir Ben Kingsley hit me up. No way. Seriously? Nah, I was gonna say, day. I don't know, for some reason in my head it just low-key made kind of made sense that he would be into Warhammer a little bit. Who was it, Ultralord? We were talking one time. You had sent me like a tweet. It was, I forget which actor. Wasn't it Peter Cushing? Grand Moff Tarkin? Who, like, he was like, there was like footage of him like looking through the rule book of like an old miniature war game from like the early 1900s or something like that. That was you who sent me that, right? Okay, now that I have a better idea of how this is all kind of flowing, we're actually going to apply the flowers first. Yeah, he was into wargaming. That's what I thought. That is what I thought. What a king. Love that for him. I think the vid was him looking at Little Wars. Yeah, the rule set that basically started it all. Yeah, it was Little Wars. I remember that name. I remember that name. Uh-oh. Jesus Christ. Okay, here we go. Whew. Almost lost my grip right there. Ah, this is so slidey for some reason. There we go. Yeah, that's definitely my allergies messing with me right now. Yeah, it's definitely allergies. Definitely allergies. Let's push this back a little bit, actually. Want there to be enough space to apply. Whatchamacallit? Let's see, and then we're gonna get some undergrowth here as well. We're gonna stick that. What time is it? 9:09? Okay, bet. Even if we have to go slightly over our usual time, we will be staying on until this is complete, because this is literally like all the very last things I have to do before this project is an official mission complete. There we go. Get that squoze in there. Trim that a little bit. There we go. Nice. Don't mind if it springs upward. That actually adds a nice little bit of verticality to the mix too, which I am always here for. Love working across different levels. Always love working across different levels. Here we go. And then, yes. Hold on. Get in there. Come on. I'm gonna try to unclog my nozzle here in a little bit too. Let's get this tucked in here. Need a bit more glue. When in doubt, more glue. Maybe not always. There we go. Help sort of pin that down a bit better. Perfection. All right. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. All right, now we just gotta do. Now we just gotta do our last Gemini here. Now we just gotta paint the rims. We do a little touch-ups on the models themselves, and we're done. Go. Actually, hold on. Are we even gonna be able to fit that on here with this small of a radius? You know what? We can. Where are these flowers from? So I literally just picked these up at like a junk giveaway, Nikki. I literally like what? I was passing through this place where like these scenic designers work or whatever. I was passing through a scene shop. And they were like, hey, we have a bunch of junk. Do you want some of it? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll absolutely take some of this. And so part of what I picked up from that table were these flowers. I wish I knew where they got them from so I could tell you, because I also want more of these too. I also want more of these. I really like the color and quality of them. I know, right? It was such a lucky find. It was like one of my first ever like lucky hobby finds or whatever, I guess you can say. Yeah, here we go. Is that gonna work? Let's, you know what, here, let's do this. That should hopefully stay. That might not stay, actually. Gosh darn it. Uh-oh. Nikki, what have you been working on this week out of curiosity? Any model updates of the sort? Anything of the sort? Where's my nose right now? I have some of the ones from Woodland Scenic. Oh, I love Woodland Scenics. Yeah, they're a little pricey since they're for trains, but they're pretty good quality. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah, Woodland Scenics makes some good stuff. I want some of their fall foliage. 2 boxes of Terminators, hell yeah. Moving right along. Good stuff. Okay, hold on. Let's see what's going on here. Just need to apply it to a flatter area. It's all good. Or you know what I'll do? You know what I can do? I can honestly just sort of rip them from the bases, can't I? I won't do that. That's a little messy. I won't do that. Uh-oh. It's not sticking at all, though, which is concerning. I'm not getting this to stick at all. What the hell? You know what, let's do this. I'll hold it down. I'll apply like 2 drop or like a drop of super glue somewhere like off to the side here while I hold it down. There we go. And hopefully that'll like dry on and kind of bolt it down on that side, so to speak. That was kind of a ratchet way of doing that, but that's okay. Sometimes you gotta do things the ratchet way to achieve results. Okay, that did seem to work actually, so that's good. And then we need PDA. And we're done with the flowers for now. Sadly. They'll be back someday though. Alright. We're gonna need plenty of overgrowth, I think, to sort of conceal the jank. Sort of bury the jank. But you're gonna bury that jank. Bury that jank a long time. And I literally just nudged the fucking flowers. Great. Terrific. Wow. Okay, that's fine. Let's actually use more of the... Actually, no, for consistency's sake, I want to use actually just the usual dark green stuff. Just for the sake of consistency here. Ooh, that's a big old tuft. Let's break that down a little bit and start sticking it on there. Speaking of, let me get this nozzle cleaned out so I can actually use this. Looks like it's just an air bubble that needed to be popped, so that's good. I don't think I'll ever use this brush. I'm okay with using it as my glue plunger, basically. Yeah, we'll give that TLC, some TLC later on if the spirit moves us. And there's still an air bubble. Okay, I need my... Where's my needle at? I had a needle set aside specifically to pop air bubbles in bottles, but I don't see it. So we're gonna use the next best thing, which is this broken mechanical pencil sitting right here. Oh yeah, there's like a dried up, whatchamacallit, dried up bit of glue like right here. Yeah. Yeah. That should hopefully have done something. Nope. Alright. Screw it. We'll just go back to doing things as we were before. I do not want to risk trying to pop this bubble and having PVA glue explode all over my 40 hours of hard work. Unclogging glue and paint bottles is always a mood killer. I agree. I agree. Gosh, I agree so much. You have no idea how much I feel that. Mood killer is exactly what how I would describe such an eventuality. Ultra Lord. It is, in fact, a mood killer. Is it sticking now, finally? Thank goodness. Okay. I think that's enough foliage coverage right there. We need some to cover up this bulge right here, so that's fine. We will do that as well. Yeah, that'll go right there. There's so much crap on my hands. Good lord. Okay, that's alright though. I'll go ahead and wipe off this brush handle too while I have a moment. Might as well. That way we don't have to worry about that later. Yeah, no, that's something I don't think I've talked about this very much, but as much as I love the Army Painter speed paints, there is one key issue I do have with not all of them, but some of them, especially if it's a darker color. The darker colors do tend to get clogged, which is a bit unfortunate. Easy enough to fix, but a pain in the ass to deal with if it catches you off guard, you know, especially if you're like trying to pour out or squeeze out paint and then all of a sudden it just like starts flying everywhere. I mean, as long as you're not caught off guard by it, it's not like the end of the world, but you know, it'll certainly feel close to it in the moment. It'll feel like a near miss with death. Not to be too dramatic, but look, I'm just being real. I'm just keeping it 100. I'm just keeping it 100. Okay. Some PVA right there for redundancy. Right. Wipe that off, and then which clump did I want to put on here? I wanted to put this clump on here. Yeah, I like this clump. This is a good clump. This is a good clump right here. Come on. You're so close. Maybe I'm trying to secure it to the wrong point. Maybe I need to actually just attach it to the base and then bend it around. Yeah, that might actually be the move. Let me adjust my strategy here. So instead of doing it directly onto the thing, I will actually do it onto the base first, and I'll just manipulate it to bend around the thing so it around the flowers. That way we can still get the concealment we were looking for there. That should be good. Hellbrute has been built. Went with Heavy Bolter and the Power Scourge for some weaker infantry killing power. Good stuff. Good stuff. You gonna keep it on? Gonna start priming it? This is being so stubborn and I don't understand why. It's okay though. I'll simply restart with some glue. No, that actually looks like a pretty decent amount of glue. I might have just not been using enough glue before. This actually looks like a much more appropriate amount of glue than what I was using before. That might have been the only problem there, frankly. I'm trying, taking a stretch break right now to make sure the glue is dry at least. Word. Stretch breaks are very important. I myself have yet to take one, and I need to make sure I do that at some point. Stretching is very important. Holy crap. Why is this being so stubborn? What the hell? Okay. Literally do not know what I have done differently here, folks, but that's okay. I know I just need to let it settle at some point, but it just wasn't like getting on there before, so I was a little concerned, but I have fixed it. It has been fixed. There we go. Now all we gotta do is paint these rims. I am definitely gonna need a vacuum in here after all is said and done. Alright. There we go. BRB, I bet. Let me think. Okay, thankfully that's just PVA on my fingers, not super glue. PVA, of course, I can tolerate. After all, I did tolerate so much of that on my fingers in like elementary school. But let's see. Yeah. Yeah. This looks good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like the way these bases look. I really like the way these look. Let me pull out a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I really like the way these bases look. All I gotta do now is paint the rims, and that'll be good to go. Question now is what color to actually paint the rims. Celestine looks great with flowers under her. Thank you. Thank you, Nikki. I appreciate that. Yeah, I agree. I think the flowers are a really nice touch for her especially. I really like too what I managed to do with like the scroll kind of like going underneath the flowers and everything. It gives it a little bit of an extra edge of, like, I don't know, realism, I guess. I think we are going. I remember I saw Ricky Celestine back in the day. He had white and pink flowers. Yeah, like a cherry blossom look. Yeah, I really liked the way that those looked too. I agree. Those are sick. Shout outs to Bricky. What am I looking for now? I need my basing. Oh, I need my base. My other basing brush. Where are you? Oh no, this is the mixing brush. Where are? I just need a brush. Oh, actually no, I just used my I just used my monster brush for that. Duh. Okay. I think Rhinox hide. I think we do a Rhinox hide for the rim. Just because, like, it's not quite the same as, like, the Ashen Waste as, like, everyone else is on top of. So I'm thinking maybe, just maybe a brown to distinguish these rims. I don't know, we'll give it a shot and see how it looks. I think Doom Bull Brown would be a little too light, but I think Rhinox High would actually be the perfect candidate for this. Yeah, okay, time to bring back the paint paper towel. Let me do some light cleanup here actually before we go any further. Good news is, since my texture paint is already dry, I can actually take these gals as official class photos tonight if I wanted to. Usually I have to wait for like a whole day for like the paints to dry and everything, for the texture paint to dry and everything. Welcome back, Ultralord. But since we've already taken care of that thanks to our airbrush very handily, I'm gonna go ahead and take the class photos tonight actually if I want to, and I think I do. I want to do that after I hop off stream. I'll just park right here. Oh, I kind of like the idea of flowers growing where Celestine goes, right? Isn't that sick? I'm so happy that I thought of that. That's like one of the coolest mini painting ideas I think I've ever had, frankly. Yeah. Time to get these rims painted. A little bit of random fiber there. No worries. And see, kind of going back to our conversation from earlier, Ultralord, I'm thinking to myself right now, you know, I would love to maybe apply a little bit of Nuln Oil here and there just to get like a nice bit of shading on like the debris and whatnot. And then I'm like, I don't want it to shine, to dry on too and look too glossy though. But you know what actually makes a really great like makeshift shade paint though, in a pinch? Like a great, actually I would say more than a pinch, I think it's actually a pretty decent alternative in general, is the Army Painter Speed Paint Grim Black. The Grim Black Speed Paint's actually pretty good for that. I sometimes, when my Nuln Oil's out of reach or whatever, I will actually use it instead. And it actually works pretty great. Just thin it down a little bit, and you're basically there. You're basically there. Yeah, I think Rhine Oxide's the perfect color for these rims. I like this. Oh yeah, you have dark tone. Yeah, that's even better. If you have Army Painter, I don't have any of the Army Painter shades, so if you have dark tone, that's probably even, that's got to be even better actually than what I just suggested. I've always wanted to try the Army Painter shade paints. None of my LGS is Celt though, so I gotta like, maybe that's something else I can track down when we link up later this month when we're both home. Be good to test their performance against the Nuln Oil, which has of course been my go-to the entire time I've been a mini painter pretty much. here I am totally forgetting, having totally forgotten that these gals have flight stands that I can just grab them by, and then I can just rotate as necessary. A non-alternative. I don't like the new. Yeah, I agree. I'm so happy you brought that up because, like, I also don't like the new shade paint formulation. Like, before, like, this is a thought that it had escaped me earlier, Ultralord, but like, there was a time where like I really didn't mind the non-oil gloss, and like the glossiness of non-oil, even if it's not like the non-glossy version, because there's like a gloss version. Because that's the ironic thing, is that there's regular non-oil and then there's gloss non-oil, right? And yet both are kind of glossy. But the old formulation was not super duper glossy. But the new formula though kind of is. And so I don't like it as much. In fact, I've been very careful to be kind of sparing in my usage of my this bottle of non-oil I have right here is like one of the last bottles of the old formula I managed to get my hands on before they discontinued it. So yeah, I'm definitely not going to be burning through this. And also because my whole like painting philosophy regarding shading has kind of changed. Not kind of changed, it has changed quite a bit since I first started, so I won't be using it as quickly. But yeah, I don't like the new version as much. It's also, to me, the new version's kind of like it's not as black. It's not as dark as I think I'd like it to be. I have the same complaint about the new formula for Drakenhof Nightshade, the blue one. It's not as blue as the old one was. It's thinner and doesn't darken my metallics. Exactly. Read my mind, Nikki. Read my mind. Yeah, it's not as dark. It's not as potent, these new ones, honestly. Yeah. Like none of the new formula shade paints in any of the colors are frankly as potent as their older counterparts. That's why I've been holding on to my old formula ones for dear life, because I'm like, I want the strength of the color. It's part of the main appeal of these shade paints, you know. So like without that, they're kind of nothing to me. They are kind of nothing to me. I'd rather them be something to me than nothing. After all, they were like what, $6 a bottle, something like that. So they better be worth something, you know. Better be getting my money's worth out of them. Paint. I used to thin it if I didn't want it to darken it. Brain mush. I used to thin it if I didn't want it to darken as much. Now I have to do 2 layers if I want it dark. Yeah, which takes way longer because shade paints take forever to dry and fully cure. Yes. So much yes. I feel you, Nikki. I feel you. I feel you, bro. I feel you. Damn. And honestly, I don't get what was wrong with the old formula. Like, did people have complaints other than like the glossiness? Because I mean, like, it's not like they fixed that. It's not like they fixed the glossiness or anything like that. So like, why did they even come out with the new formula? Because like, I was surprised. I didn't hear about the new formula before it dropped. I just like went to my local game store and I saw it and I was like, oh, that's new. Also, it's in a smaller bottle. Like, what's up with that? Like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Looking good. Hey, thanks, Godzilla. Welcome back. Hope homework went well. If I had to guess their most used paints, I would guess it's non-oil. Why change it? Yeah, exactly. Non-oil, because that's like the one product that like, even if you don't like use Citadel and like your normal like painting workflow, like non-oil is like the one Citadel product that you grab from the Citadel line if you use other paint brands. That's what I'm trying to say. And yet they still bothered to change it. which is just so weird to me. Oh yeah, the Rhinox hide bases were a nice choice. I like this. I like this color contrast going on here. I like this a lot. And when I eventually, especially with Celestine, when I attach her wings here in a little bit, that's going to look really nice. I have never owned Noil. Oh, interesting. You've never owned Noil. That's interesting. So do you use any sort of shading paint at all, Godzilla, in your workflow, or do you just not really even touch it? Just tidying up the workspace here so we don't have any accidents. I mostly just do highlights. Oh, I see. So you work in like the other direction. Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Let me think. First of all, how are these looking? Bases are looking pretty solid. It might take another pass just for the sake of being theta. I do see a couple of light patches here and there. I would rather get rid of those. Okay. Alright, I'm willing to call these rims done. That's just some road grass. Got a little glue on my hand. All right, rims are complete. And now for the grand finale. Probably gonna need my tweezers for this, so I'm gonna keep them handy. It is time to finally attach Celestine's wings. So, let's do exactly that right now. Actually, before I do that, let me think. Yeah, we'll add a little bit of scrawl. Extra scrawl to Celestine and some scrawl to the Geminis. Scrolls to. I need a new paper towel. I'll just grab this one because this one's not quite as filthy as the other one. Okay, where's my black? There you are. Put Null Oil to the side right here. I have to really shake this up. If this black doesn't work, I've got the Reaper bottle. Oh! Oh snap, I actually have, wait, 79. Oh snap, I already have another fresh bottle of Vallejo Black up there. Oh, I love me. Shoutouts to me for coming in clutch for us tonight, for remembering to actually always, like, because I have, like, when it comes to, like, colors like black and white, my policies always have two. One that's active, one that's ready in reserve. And this is exactly the reason why. Nice. Alright, cool. I'm happy with that then. I guess I don't have to, I guess I should still buy an extra bottle at some point in the near future, but because now that one will soon not be the reserve, it'll be the active bottle, but okay. Shout out to myself. No, literally. Just something light. Just something light. Just for the sake of being thorough here. That paint was still a little wet. Got a little bit of my rim paint on there. On my fingers. There we go. I'm gonna do their eyes too. I'm gonna do the Gemini's eyes real quick as well. So I've left those unpainted this entire time too. Very carefully. Dot our eyes here. Nice. Right. Ah. There we go. Let's see if we can fix this. What we're gonna do is take our burnished red. Made a little whoopsie daisy on her eye right here, so I'm just fixing that real quick. Yep, and there it is. Alright, eyes are complete. Alright, here we go. For the first time in 2 months, we are now going to uncork our plastic cement. We're going to reattach these wings, and then Celestine the Living Saint will be officially complete. Actually, one other thing too, I just noticed, don't you love Mini Penny? Don't you love how when you're going, you just like start noticing all these little details you didn't catch before? When I get the inquisitorial eye that's technically on top of this skull. There we go. Alright, now we can attach these wings. Now we can attach these wings. Whew. I am nervous. First, let me dry fit these pieces. Because I imagine one thing that might be kind of tricky is the fact that the birds are kind of in the way. I might low-key have to break them off. But I don't think we do need to do that. But if something does go wrong, that will probably be... That's probably the thing for it to be. Figuring out the fit for this is actually a little confusing. I might have to actually... Okay, I don't think I'm gonna have to break these off, but I'm definitely gonna have to do a little bit of stretching, a little bit of manipulation here. Just gotta be a little careful. There we go. That's the fit right there. Okay. Okay. It's not like I think we have. They sit up against the wings. I think it's okay. Okay, but thank you for the confirmation there, Nikki. I was actually just about to ask you since you've also worked on Celestine recently. Alright, just using the gentlest drop of plastic cement here. Might need actually a little bit more, just the tiniest bit more, and I'm also going to make sure I get these right here since I left that little bit on the tubing there also naked so that we can have just a little bit more surface area to work with. Yeah. Obviously this is supposed to plug into this socket right here. I'm going to hold these securely. I'm going to secure these real quick that way. I can make sure this bond actually forms. Because there's kind of nothing holding these wings, like actually anchoring these wings to Celestine. So these are going to definitely need a little bit of assistance. How's that look? They're a little crooked. Hold on. Wings are a bit crooked. We'll adjust. We will adjust. Hold on. Okay, this time I'm going to do this from the front so I can actually see the whether or not the alignment is good. There we go. Because that alignment was not good. Of course, this would be the trickiest part of this process. Like, after everything we've been through, of course this would be the one part where I'm just like, ah, yeah. Time to struggle. That's all good, though. It has all been so worth it. And that's still crooked. Okay, give me 1 second here. Just gotta still pull that down a little bit more. There we go. Pull the birds out of the way. Eh. That's a little bit too much of an adjustment. This freaking servo skull on the back is what's making me so nervous to like really like tackle this, because oh my god, if this look, literally as soon as I say that, oh my fucking god, of course this thing would snap. Of course, you know what, that's fine, it's fine. We will super glue that on in like 2 seconds. I just really want to get this fixed. Oh my god, of course the fucking halo snaps. I knew that was gonna happen. Rip, it's all good. We will get back to that very shortly here. Oh my god. Okay. I really hope that we can get that halo back on. I really hope I can get that back on. I know I can, it's just gonna be frustrating to have to do. You know? Shit. That wing alignment looks pretty good, but the wings are certainly not stable though, so... Dang, gotta buy. You're funny, Nikki, you're funny. According to the rules, you can't play Celestine unless she still has her halo. Dang, gotta buy, build, paint a new one. Yeah. Fair. That was funny. I just want the halo on because it looks so darn pretty. Gotta have her halo. It's so nice. Ooh. Okay. Okay. That seems like a pretty secure position. Seems pretty secure. Okay. Alright. I like that. I like that. It's a little off center, but you know what? That looks pretty dynamic, I'd say. I don't have any issues with that at all. No qualms whatsoever, as long as it stays. As long as it just frickin' stays where it is, I am satisfied. Okay, alright. Hold on, I noticed it's starting to slide. I think we just gotta let it sit and let the plastic cement do its thing at this point. Where's my super glue? I thought this was gonna be a short stream tonight. I am not gonna lie, y'all. I thought that this stream was gonna be over in like maybe like an hour tops. Not an hour, that's not true. Maybe like 2 hours tops. But no, we actually ended up going to the full time. But hey, that's mini painting for you. Details upon details upon details. Now, thankfully for us, it broke off. The halo snapped off right at the original connection point. So there's like a little bit of like a ledge we can use to get it to like sit where it needs to go. So we're gonna exploit that. And because, you know, a lot of the jump pack is already airbrushed in a bright white color, if the super glue mists on the back, at least it's kind of blending in already with everything else. So I'm gonna dry some of it off though with this paper towel, because there is a bit much on there. Why someone at GW thought that the fucking tubing of the servo skull was a good connection point. Like again, because like I said, this is the default connection point for this. And why someone thought that was a good idea is beyond me, frankly. GW, what the hell? But that's okay though, because now... I'm gonna actually twist that a little bit to the left. There we go, that looks a lot better. It looks more natural. Okay, let me close this up before I'm tempted to use it again. Okay. Our little wobbly demigod is finally complete. I think, as long as the wings don't pop off. We did it, you guys. Here she is. Celestine the Living Saint, my friends. There we go. Turning down the brightness so you can see her a bit better. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, Nikki. Appreciate you. Thank you, Ultralord. Appreciate you, dog. And here are her accompanying Gemini Superior too. Yeah, I think these gals are gonna look pretty dope on the tabletop. Yeah. We did it, Joe. We did it. Whew! Guys, it was looking so hairy there for a split second. Oh my god. I thought that was gonna be rip run for a split second there, but we did it, y'all. And I appreciate the fact that y'all were here. Thank you so much, GodzillNet. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all especially for being here, especially you three, my fellow mini painters. It's always good to be in y'all's company. I appreciate all the help and guidelines and tips y'all provided along the way for like even like the little trivial shit, you know. Thank y'all so much for being a part of this experience. I've learned a lot. I've really enjoyed this. I hope y'all really enjoyed this too. Gonna one more time say thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, for those of you who might be watching who are new here. Hit that notification bell too, that way you know exactly when I go live every Friday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time right here at youtube.com/@ChimeraGames. If you want to follow me on my social medias, they are found in the description below. And don't forget to leave a like on the stream, y'all, before you leave, because of course that always helps out the channel. And until I see y'all again, don't forget, there is going to be no stream next week, because I need a break. After all this painting, I need a break. So I'm going to be taking a break from stream next week, but then we'll be back in 2 weeks. Actually, are we going to be back in 2 weeks? Because that actually might be Thanksgiving. Hold on. Let me look. Oh, that is going to be Thanksgiving. Okay, so we will be back in 2 weeks because I'm going to be home with my family for Thanksgiving. So our next stream is going to be on December 1st. How lovely. We get to start off the month right with some good old-fashioned mini painting. We're going to be going into our Death Guard. I'll miss y'all, but I will be on my socials. Of course, I'll be checking out y'all's work, of course, too. And so, yeah, until I see y'all again, take care, and I'll miss you. And have an awesome weekend, all right? Peace.